After a tremendous upset, Neeb manages to claw out a huge win over Crucial Nug to advance to the winners match of WCS America Group C for our challenger. I'm Nathaniel, joined by Fear Dragon as we wait to see who will go up to face Neeb. We've got a Terran versus Zerg, which is a matchup that I've heard some people are a fan of. We had a good amount of TvZ. Really good games from the Europe group between basically Clem versus the world. Vindicta versus Silky, though. My brain just immediately says Silky should have this one in the bag. Tell me why I'm wrong.
So Vindicta has actually been looking, and this is not just because you told me to say that. I was going to say this regardless. Vindicta has been looking really, really good.
You're so biased. I can't believe you would just take the bait.
Wow. Vindicta has been looking really good, but also Silky, I was telling Roddy this, Silky has started work. He's been working as an intern, I think, for the first time as like a software dev. So he has not actually been able to play a ton of StarCraft. Now, I think that Silky is still one of those guys that you can still expect will probably show up. He's still pretty good at what he does. I don't think this is going to be like a one-sided match by any means whatsoever, but I do think that Vindicta has a really good chance, specifically because I also am a huge fan of his TvZ. I think his TvZ is really on point.
Okay, I'm excited to see what he brings out then, just because you said that. We are loaded in. We are ready to kick things off for our Terran versus Zerg. This is the World Championship Series, and it came right back to us. Hi, guys.
What's up, guys?
So we're starting this off on New Repugnancy, and... yeah, we'll get into the game. Okay.
Hey.
In the bottom left position, we have the red Zerg player. He is Silky.
Nick McNeese?
McNoyce.
And starting up here in the top right-hand corner of the map from Team Alpha Esports, it is Vindicta.
You don't see a lot of teams with the Beta Esports title.
It says Dust Gaming. But well, it's Alpha X. Either way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what does Vindicta do, TvZ? Do you have the inside scoop?
Here's the thing about Vindicta with TvZ is I find his bio play super impressive. I love watching Vindicta's TvZ bio, but he actually goes for mech a lot.
Okay.
He does a lot of mech play. So it's always like a bit of a thing. Every single time I watch him play a TvZ, I'm like, oh, please go bio this game. Please go bio this game. You're so much fun. You're so
Fear Dragon
aggressive with the bio.
I'm going to ask you the hardest question I've ever asked another commentator, because I feel in this current metagame that if you're a Terran who can only do bio or only do mech in tournaments, that is a severe disadvantage.
Oh, yeah. I totally agree with that.
Okay. Because I feel like we used to have this period of time where like there were some people that did it, and there was like... It's such an interesting history of the strategy and the play style, but particularly because of stuff like the Cyclone mech, right? The being able to still be out on the map, be very multitasking and harassing. If a Zerg player goes into a matchup like knowing what you're going to do 100%, I feel like it's just huge. It's a huge disadvantage compared to like a Zerg going into a CVP knowing that the Protoss will just build a Prism and Immortals and kill them, right? Where it's like knowing that doesn't really help you, but knowing what the Terran will do is monstrous.
I'm with you, but just based off of, I would say, Zerg player Twitters, I would say that has more to do with the fact that there are a bunch of different types of things that can come at you with the Warp Prism. But I would agree that there's a disadvantage in your opponent just knowing whether you're going for mech or if you're going for bio, because there's that vulnerability period, right, when you're going for mech, where you maybe only have some of the Hellions and stuff. There's still some big attacks while you're getting your factories up that can really punish you.
By the way, SCV Scouting, shout out. Today's WCS is sponsored by SCV Scouts. Know whether you're getting cheesed and delay Zerg thirds.
Ironically, yeah, the Zerg thirds, that's absolutely true. But I was going to say, we haven't seen a single two-base all-in today.
Yeah, that's the more interesting part, is that despite all of this, no Zerg has said to themselves, well...
I'll pull first.
Yeah, or even just I'll go for like a two-base Nidus or something, because I guess, well, you're still worried about the Reaper getting the scout, but that drone went over there, the SCV was there, turned into a hatchery, or excuse me, turns into an extractor, canceled, went back to the natural, and this hatchery ends up starting like a solid minute later than Silky wanted to get it. Silky wanted to be very greedy, and he's just cranking out the drones, so makes a lot of sense, as that's what our Zerg players are wont to do. But Vindicta, let's see what he gets
Fusion
going.
Core. Hey.
Vindicta, are you flirting with me? He's stealing my heart right now.
I love how
problem.
much...
I can't live without a heart. That's kind of weird.
That's a morbid way of thinking about it. Well, while you're dealing with blood loss, tell us, Nate, how does the battle cruiser attack usually go?
This is actually not a bad map for Liberator range, so I think that there's options here, but battle cruisers are good. Battle cruisers are really strong. The biggest strength that they have is they're dummy thick. Teleport them into the enemy base. If they have not rushed a Spire, you should never lose the first BC, because you just go in, right-click on a few drones, even if like a bunch of queens are wailing at you, you kill a few drones, fly away, and you just kind of poke and prod and try to be as annoying as humanly possible. There is that battle cruiser on the way. So, yeah, he'll be totally fine. It's not really possible for him to teleport in and be met by a Spire or anything like that. So there could be one on the way if Silky goes for one immediately, but has he seen anything that would tell him he needs it?
He only saw the barracks in the factory that lifted off and the barracks finishing up a tech lab. He didn't actually make his way far enough to see the starport with the tech lab. So
he might just go for like a fast Hydralisk Den, right? He may be thinking, it's also possible that Silky's natural defense against BCs would be like queens, right?
He's got 7 queens, yeah, and an 8th queen on the way even.
Very little Spire play today from Zergs. Of course, we're on to America, which means that things are going to make a little bit less sense regardless, but we didn't really see that as a weapon of choice. The Zergs have kind of gotten blasted by this build so much in the last 6 months that people do pretty well against it. People have learned Fear Dragon. It's like it's like AI, but like real. You know what I mean?
Well, there's a Spore Crawler already finished up over here. This first queen also going to be the first line of defense. It does get transfused in time, and it's going to be able to stay alive for quite a while. There's still a few more transfuse. Oh no, he misses the transfuse.
That's awkward.
Yeah.
So one of the queens goes down, and the Overseer gets poked, but this was okay. Getting this Overlord kind of makes it a little bit better. Please go get the Overlord.
Follow-up scout, by the way, for oh my god, he didn't get the Overlord. And there's a follow-up scout Overlord or Overseer that comes in and sees Tech Lab on the factory, sees what's on the starport.
But he sees that it's bio, right? I think Silky gets.
He ran through the entire main base. I'm pretty sure he saw.
His changeling actually, he dropped it in the spot where you would hide a Widow Mine normally, so he actually sees the extra barrack start. This is really important. Hellions are going to go over towards that top side base. If the BC gets that Overseer too, that'd be really nice. But teleporting in and landing on a Spore Crawler, that sucks. That feels really bad because he didn't kill anything. The drones also got pulled immediately away. Getting a queen is
nice. Can we get U.S. Lost pulled up actually? Well, actually no. That's less surprising. That's less surprising. Yeah. For a moment, I thought that was Silky, and I was like, Silky didn't really get it. Wow. No, he has.
Well, Hellion died, so the perfect streak is over. I know Vindicta's goal was to literally lose 0 resources this game, but he already failed miserably. What a shame. 100 resources. Yeah, I mean like. So.
Do you know how much you could do with 100 resources? That's at least 75 tacos.
Yeah, it is. Depends if you live somewhere where there's tax on that as well, you know. I love this, by the way. This is the second game we've had a player move the Overlord out to just to push their creep a little bit further. Someone might be thinking to themselves, it's not a huge deal, but in a game of StarCraft, every little bit is so important.
Ooh, there are those mutas also popping on. Al, so you were talking about how we haven't seen a lot of Spire play today. Well, Muta's definitely going to change that up. There is, again, like you said, bio coming out from Vindicta, which, by the way, makes me super duper happy. Because, again, I really enjoy his bio play. I think after he gets up a couple of the medevacs, he's one of the players that really is good about just continuously piling on the pressure from a lot of different angles and a lot of different drops. But seems like he wants to go for a big push first.
He's got a sizable army, and he's going to shove the battlecruiser right up front to try and help soak some of this damage. Remember, even if the BC doesn't really kill much, if it can tank anything, it's so nice because of how much armor it has. The Marines go behind the tanks. The Banelings are gone, so the Marines can push forward with this BC if they want. I would like to see a Terran not just sack the BC, but that's probably... Ooh. No, he dies.
Goes down.
Oh, the Banelings. There's more Banes now as well, so I don't think he's going to be able to get too much more unless he gets the sickest Focus Fire of all time.
Yeah, the Mutas also did a good job of sniping off the Siege Shanks, by the way, during that fight, and also staying alive. I think he may have lost like 1 or 2 Mutas over there, 2 Mutas, but he kept most of them alive and got reset the Siege Shank count a bit. So that does make it a lot more difficult for Vindicta for Vindicta to actually push forward. You see that he already backed up to his third base.
Oh my god, someone's getting
space.
drilling claws. What's happening, Fear Dragon?
Vindicta is a fan of Nathaniel's. He listens to you, and
Oh, I'm sure.
Your constant,
He stole this build.
Desire.
He stole this build from me. I figured out the battle cruiser meta before anyone else. No.
That was it. He also finished up the armory, so he's finally getting up his 2/2 upgrades during the midst of that fight. And Silky's gotten up his +2 melee at least, started. Still waiting for that Carapace.
Oh my god. Cheeky siege tanks. Ooh. Close, 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 close. At the very least, he's going to force some resources to be spent repairing that siege tank. But I love it because he's already got 2 factories as well, which is something that we don't see Terran players push for as much. Like, he's already pumping out Widow Mines 2 at a time and getting the Thor, and Drilling Claws is almost done. So, Lingbane Muta versus Marine Mine. I love it. I love it a lot, especially since when we talk about the old days of that, because the Drilling Claws upgrade gives you back that invisibility after shooting. It's actually just straight up a little bit better for Terran than it used to be because the Widow Mines build faster than the old days.
Yeah, also really quickly want to note those sensor towers are actually very nice because if you think about Silky's army, it's made for run-bys, it's made for those mutas to come in, try and snipe off a siege tank or so here and there as we already saw earlier on, but both of those sensor towers basically give 100% coverage. He's going to see any attack that comes in a little bit early.
They're also amazing bait too. I want to see like 5 Widow Mines put on to one of the sensor towers. I guarantee you the mutas are going to try and come in and snipe a sensor tower. 100%.
He's going to grab that 4th base. And even the 4th... Oh, actually, I just noticed this. Even the 4th base is actually covered by the ring of that sensor tower. That's awesome. That is such a great placement.
I mean, that's not really where the units would be, but yeah. It's going to... There will likely be Banelings more from that high ground and run down, but I think he has a mine there, which gives him further vision. So the vision is really good for Vindicta defensively. Both players finishing their 2/2 around the same time. I guess the Carapace lagging just ever so slightly for Zerg. Denies one Baneling, but that could have been devastating.
He's like, wait a second, it's not being revealed.
But hey, guess what? It doesn't need to kill stuff. It just needs to reveal, and then the Marines come up here. Baneling doesn't get too much, it
gets 2 of the Widow Mines, but that's really not what he was looking for. He's losing a lot of Lings and losing a lot of Banelings here.
Good luck running through the Thors there.
So there's a big counterattack on the north side. The Widow Mine, okay, he does dodge out of the way of most of the fire there. He's going to go after the siege tank. Some of the Marines unload from the medevacs, and Silky is going to be able to break this, but he's going to be trading some bases on the south side of the map at the same time.
Yeah, he saves the SCVs though. I think that's the biggest thing because he's still got this army over here. And unlike many Zerg players, he just kind of committed his whole army. So there's not this giant swath of Banelings that we usually expect to prevent the Terran from base trading.
He's really far on creep though. This is going to get a little bit dicey potentially. The Banelings actually go straight onto the Widow Mines, but that does mean there's, what, 1 Widow Mine left over?
Yeah. Let Big Daddy Thors run forward or pick them up in the medevacs and get the heck out of dodge. I don't think you can really escape in this. Oh, that Widow Mine shot.
It went out with some value, and the Thors are even getting a lot of damage done. The Mutas are going to prevent the Thors from just loading up to the medevacs and easily escaping, but that is going to be a full cleanup on that army. Silky trades one of his bases for, I guess, denial of mining from a base, and that's really not the best trade usually.
No, but well, here we go. We've got Adrenal Glands. The Hive is done. So Adrenal Glands, 3/3. And for our Terran player, it's just more Thors and Widow Mines. +2 vehicle armor. Love that. And his own 3/3 is going to be done at a time where it's going to give him a good window. Like, the supply for Vindicta is really good. He's got a huge amount of army supply to work with. And Silky, despite going for an Ultralisk Cavern, he's not really banking a whole lot. So we're not going to see, like, a crazy amount of Ultras pop out since he's going to need to get chitinous and all that. These mutas are getting zoned really hard as well because there's Widow Mines everywhere.
Yeah, losing a few of the mutas. Oh, God, even some Widow Mines on the retreat, snagging a few more. This is going to be really tough. Like you were saying, Vindicta's army is looking really strong and has even added in a decent number of Marauders to soak up the Baneling hits for these big fights. They have concussive shells to slow them down as well. Well, the mutas are actually apparently still getting some damage done, but he might need those very soon as the attack is coming forward.
Yep, there's still plenty of creep spread though, so it's not going to be a walk in the park by any means for Vindicta. He needs to get up onto that base, and honestly, leaving the mutas here to open this up is nice because it's basically saying, hey, counterattack me. You could send some Lings here too, probably.
Supply blocked. He's lost too many depots. I was like, is he gonna get supply blocked? And here come those Lings you were talking about. Vindicta pulled back for a split second, but now he's just moving straight forward. He says, no. Reinforcements will deal with
that
this.
Ling, that one Zergling just tanked the mine into all those SCVs. Really good counterattack here from Silky. Crazy to think Vindicta still max. The Ultralisks don't have Chitinous. So the Marines, I mean, they just walk up and say, well met to those big chunky boys.
I think he might have to give up his nat. Oh god, the Baneling nest is over here. He's 17 more Banelings morphing in, so he'll have some for this big fight. And he is still doing some more damage on the rest of the map, but he's going to lose maybe another Ultra over here. Chitinous plating finishes up.
Chitinous is done, but he doesn't have +3 Carapace, so the upgrade advantage when it comes to Marines, because of the way that their DPS works, that one upgrade advantage is really big, but Silky shoves him back a little bit, and the Bane tree! Oh, wow.
That was a lot of Banelings.
Saved some of them, but good good hold so far.
Yeah, Vindicta did pretty much lose all of the mining over at that third base, but the fourth base has been mining this entire time. He has a fifth command center also finished up, and he finally did manage to clean up all those Lings that were darting around inside his main and his natural expansion. So Vindicta still looks like he has a pretty scary looking army that's just been kept at home for a while, but it's ready for round 2.
And we've got the Corruptors coming out for a possible late transition. Seems like it's just going to be to help deal with those air units, though, because we don't have a Greater Spire. We don't even have him trying to go for one at the moment. But the Liberator harass, I'm going to say, despite flying straight into where that Spore was, got a couple of drones. Not bad, not bad. Gets this hatch in the center. Really like Vindicta's play. He's taken a beating from the counterattacks, but he's really done a great job of sticking in it.
Yeah, I feel like he's, for the most part, he's been able to do a little bit more damage than he's taking every single time, because he's still trading out his army in these counterattacks versus the army of Silky as well.
And that last counter did not do too much. Lost a good chunk of Lings for very little.
There's that Widow mine we were talking about like 10 minutes ago, and how it provided that extra scouting.
I love mines. I love mines. I talk about it probably more than I need to, but the other reason why I love them is because they help deal with those forces that go outside for the counterattacks.
This is really nice.
Liberator will kill the Lings, but it's going to take a while. So the SCVs are going to die, unfortunately.
Even some Marines die. A lot of softened up SCVs over here. There's 55 still left over on the map, and hey, you know, Vindicta is a Terran player on 5 bases. He's got a lot of orbitals, but do have to be careful about losing too many. He's still making 3 at a time, so I think he'll be fine.
Honestly, getting attacked at that base doesn't even bother him that much. That's not the base that he wants to mule, right? It's much better for him to be able to mule his more fresh base. So
Ultra Cavern?
As long as that's not under attack, he's good.
Okay, well, this drop is doing a lot, and there's the big attack on the north side, which is where all of Silky's attention is.
He's got to be careful. There are some infestors in here. I would set those Thors to single target mode, but he's going to run up into him. Oh my god, well, he kind of just face plants his Marauders into those Ultralisks.
Oh, the Ultra Cavern did go down, by the way. The drop does get cleaned up, but the damage was already done, and this small little drop also denying any potential bases on the south side of the map. Vindicta actually just gets out of there. He says, okay, cool, I did the damage.
Yeah. I mean, Silky's starting to claw his way back up in supply and also his bank, so it's unfortunate we talk about that. Oh!
Okay, well, that was a few Baneling connections there. Well,
yeah, that happened.
Some infestors are going to help out and maybe locking down some of this army. Hey, this is a lot of Lings. There's no surface area to repair this planetary, so even if he tried to repair now, it is not going to work out in his favor. So that's one dead base. And on the north side, Vindicta's trying to attack. The Lings are fast enough to get back up there to help defend, though.
Fungal.
Slowing things down. Ooh, that Thor is actually really close to dying to a Fungal. There's another drop inside the main base, by the way, of Silky, and it is going to kill not just his hatchery, it might be able to kill the hive in the spawning pool.
Yeah, getting the spawning pool would be a fun little grab just to prevent that reinforcement flood, although he is able to get out. He's dumped his money into Ultralisks, and he's going to get a few more Corruptors. The air is becoming a problem for him because Mutalisks are just trash in this situation, so he's using the Corruptors, but he's like looking at that base while he's trying to defend against it, and he drops a mule on it. I'm like, there's not really any minerals there, but I guess since he lost the southeast base, he's actually really hurting for income.
Yeah.
Vindicta's both players'
both
economy.
Of these guys, yeah.
Ravaged.
Silky barely has his third base mining, and I guess has that top left-hand base, but he needs to hold this position. This area right here that Vindicta's setting up, he has to break this. If he loses this base, I don't see his pathway to winning this game.
No. So the Thors are going to go up. And the snipes.
Yeah.
A lot of overlords to kill here too. Silky is he's not
to lose supply now.
Yeah, his supply cap is dropping. Not that he can necessarily get over it anyway, but here we go. He's going to run into the liberation zones. and every unit just going to start battling it out. The Ghosts with the Liberators. Yeah, don't attack into that. And the Thor, too. Thors do a lot of damage versus them Ultras. They don't care about the armor.
Yeah, Corruptors start sniping off a few of the Liberators, but there are still 5 or 6 of those left. This is still a really, really tough angle to engage into. He tries to move over to the Corruptors, but the Bioforce is just a little too strong. And he's getting zoned out of that 4th base. He's trying to double expand to the south side of the map, I think anticipating he's going to lose this base.
Yeah, but the Ultras are just getting walloped, though. Like, they're getting softer and softer every time they come in for a little bit of a trade, and now I think next time that they move up, they're going to evaporate. But more Liberators show up, and the position is very well anchored. Also, supply. Wow, Vindicta crushed it this game. This was really impressive.
I was telling you, man, I love watching Vindicta with that bio style, and he is controlling this base as well with all those Liberator siege ups. A few Lings trying to go for a counterattack. Not gonna matter, not gonna happen. 3rd base, the last real mining base so far for Silky, until the other 2 on the bottom side finish up, just get sniped off. So Silky's income is basically nothing.
Yeah. Vindicta floats the main over towards that low ground base, which is what he needs. Is really just another economic foothold. And then I don't know that there's a whole lot left for Silky, just because he's really been having a tough spot. And this army is still very, like, Vindicta's up 50 army supply right now, but he's also got, keep in mind, the very good tech units. Like, he's got the Ghosts in there, only a couple of them now, but his Liberators did a really good job. And with this many Marines and Marauders, like, he needs like a sick fungal, but he doesn't have any infestors.
If Silky can buy enough time to get up some units and to make use of the 2 bases that he has, I would maybe have a little bit of hope. But right now, Vindicta is just not going to wait around.
He's already going this push.
He's going across the map, yeah.
This right here, and losing this base, guess what? It's very easy segue for him to just go south to the last mining base.
Yeah,
that Silky has. So, and he did, by the way, get his mineral line ravaged. So mineral income is close to flatlining for both of our players here. Gonna try to fight now, has to go off creep, and the Banelings start to dwindle. Ultras are not gonna be able to make it happen on their own. In fact, he never got anabolic synthesis, so he can't push the Ultralisks off creep. GG.
Vindicta,
really good game.
Really, really awesome first game. Vindicta just able to really pile on a lot of pressure. A lot of backstabbing there from Silky, trying to get his own economic damage done. But ultimately, Vindicta's big power push is what really sealed the deal, as well as 1 or 2 of those drops sniping off some vital tech.
Yeah, that was just, I mean, the big thing that strikes me for Vindicta was he had a good setup everywhere. The only point of vulnerability was that 3rd base that he got counterattacked on a few times, but he did a pretty solid job of managing it. Like, he never lost too much. The big depot loss hurt, but
yeah,
it's one of those situations where some Zerg players will send a bit less than that, and they'll have like the 40 Banelings back home to deal with everything. But he just was able to get a really good push going, and having those Thors as well to anchor it. I love Thors against Zerg. They're very strong for the same reason that battle cruiser at the start was strong. Is it takes damage, and it has a lot of built-in armor. So if the Queens or the Mutalisks hit it at all, it's really reducing the damage that's going to the overall army or your medevacs. But yeah, Vindicta's army control was just phenomenal. And the fast drilling clause, I loved it.
Oh yeah,
mine
that
retention.
Worked out.
Widow mine retention doesn't get talked about enough, in my opinion. Like that mine he had on the south side that cleared out tons and tons of Lings, stopped some of the Banelings, but also gave him a heads up because it was outside sensor tower range. As a Zerg, you're like, if I'm going to morph Banelings outside my opponent's base, I'm going to go as close as I can without being in sensor tower. There's a Widow mine.
Yeah, you did a great job with that. And even I think you were talking a little bit about the attacks at the 3rd base and stuff. I don't even feel like there are sometimes a Terran player gets a run by in their 3rd base or something. You're like, okay, they left the depot down or something. That was not so much Vindicta saying, oh no, I'm not paying attention to this. It was more Silky just prying that way open by sniping off depots and continuously like killing off any defenses over there, because Vindicta would leave things
only
there.
He had 5 mines on that sensor tower. When the mutas flew over from the natural, would have all got blown up instantly. But alas, he decided he would rather win the game. Tragic, I know. Cyber Forest is going to be map number 2. If Vindicta plays that well. Yeah, no, that was really good.
This is where I go back to the fact that I love watching Vindicta play bio, but he does, I would say, a majority of games I feel that I see of him, he's going for mech. So I wouldn't be surprised if he mixes it up, but kind of don't want him to.
I think something that we've had as like a recurring meme, as it were, in Terran versus Zerg is sometimes if a player tries bio or tries mech and it flops hard, they almost always switch to the other for the next game. Or if they don't, they usually just die trying to do the same thing twice. But when you're able to get a win like that off bio, Silky has to be thinking to himself, am I going to go against that again? Is it going to be like Marine Mine? Should I try to do something like Hydras to deal with that? And that's that can be a dangerous road to go down because it may not be any Widow Mines, right, using this next comp. This could be something like, it could be a BC rush into Hellion Cyclone Liberator or whatever, you know?
Yeah. I hate to undersell our boy like Crucial Nug right now, but there's a really good chance, go figure, that whoever loses this is going to go on to face versus Crucial Nug. And there's a really good chance they're probably going to beat Crucial Nug. So, and there's a really good chance whoever wins this is still probably going to lose versus Neeb in the winner match.
So what you're saying is we're going to have a rematch of Silky
There's
Vindicta
a good
later.
chance there's going to be a rematch, and I think that exact mentality is probably on both of these guys' minds. So whatever they're doing, sometimes it's actually not that uncommon that you say, okay, I'm going to try some stuff, but I'm really, really holding on to some of my big strategies for the next series. That rematch is going to be a little more important.
It is interesting to consider, however, that Crucial Nug, if he plays at all on NA, then he would have probably decent practice against both of these gentlemen. But Neeb is kind of a known quantity, but he's not only very good. You don't play against Neeb if you play on NA. Neeb doesn't really play NA.
To be fair, I think Silky doesn't really play on NA. He plays a lot of Korea, I know.
Yeah, so he lives in California. But the point I'm trying to make is people here, the people in this group, very, very unlikely that they would have practice against Neeb. As a better player, it's very hard to be like, oh yeah, well, you know, I know Neeb's a lot better than me, but I played against him a few times and I kind of carved out some meme build or whatever. It's like, no. It's like, well, Neeb plays over in Europe. We know that he's really good. We're probably not going to be able to beat him. But I would imagine that Vindicta has probably played maybe a bit against Crucial Nug, or they've played against Silky to some degree, or at least more than they would against Neeb, which gives a, at least in my mind, I'm like, I'm holding out for something interesting to possibly come up in terms of upsets.
I'm really hoping Crucial Nug is able to show up, because it would be really fun to see him do well and maybe pull off an upset.
Greedy build, by the way. Very greedy build this game by Vindicta. If I was a Ravager, I would love to say well met to this build, because he did not even take his second refinery from his main base. He went straight for this ridiculously fast third command center. He wants to play the greedy boy game. He's going to go into Hellions out of it too. Yeah, any type of a Roach or Ravager all in is like a free win against this type of build, but not expecting that, not believing that that is what is going to come from the scout that he has done with his Reaper.
Yeah, finally moves in with that Reaper, by the way, to see the third base and everything. This is actually the first time that Reaper has moved out, so he just kept that back at home, ready for any kind of lings that were moving around the map. Pulls back, and it's going to try and dive into that natural maybe in a little bit, but Zergling Speed is finishing up soon, so Reaper is going to have a limited lifespan on the map.
Yes, indeed. So we have the starport coming in, and is Barracks going to lift? Is he going to lift the barracks and put the starport on that tech lab? It might be a fake stim. For some reason, my brain is telling me there's a possibility that when this Overlord's gone and the starport's done, he does something memey.
Yeah, it was such an obvious time to just be like, I will start stim because the Overlord is here, and Overlord is almost out of range. Does he?
Nah.
No.
I'm just dreaming big here because I wanted to imagine a world where he just starts the fusion core as the Overlord's like not going to be able to spot it, and then just goes back to Hellion production and swaps after the Viking is done. But that's the type of thing that Special would do. Not too many players are crazy enough to cancel stim a quarter of the way through.
We are talking about NA players though. So
he did play a really good bio game last map, but I was in my mind I was just like, I wonder if he was going to try and pull a sneaky on him. Sell that you're going bio, make him go for Zergling upgrades and get like a Baneling nest, and then do the old switcheroo.
Well, either way, I am once again very, very selfishly happy we get to see a little more bio, because that was a really, really strong last game.
That Zergling would have told him anyway, so it's good that he stuck with his guns, because if he had switched, it would have been revealed in that very moment.
Yeah, all the barracks coming down is a pretty nice reveal. The Hellions not really bothering to scan to kill off any of the creep spread over here. So Silky, he had some pretty decent creep spread eventually in the last game, but I think that it took him a little longer to get this started this far.
He's been droning hard. He hasn't really been building lings. He didn't build lings in the last game and for a very long time, and even in this game, he's only had like his initial 5 lings. He sent the 1 to scout. He wants to drone. He wants to spend the larva on the drones. He's got 17 creep tumors in production right now, so he's getting the spread going.
That would do it.
One thing I do like about the fast second armory or fast second factory and the armory from the last game is, yes, drilling claws are awesome when it comes to mines, especially versus Ling, Bane, and Muta. But at the same time, makes it easy to maintain upgrade flow, which is something that we...
Yeah.
It's usually a make or break thing for a lot of Terran versus Zerg. Like, you're supposed to be ahead in upgrades because of the hive situation, because it's the Zerg has to, right? It's you have the infestation pit and then the hive, and it takes a while. But the 1-1 is going to be done very far ahead for Silky, so that's going nicely for him. And he can go straight into 2-2 with the lair timing.
I love that. And even the last game, Vindicta, he wasn't too late on 2-2, but there was like a bit of a gap of period where he hadn't started up 2-2, but he had 1-1 finished up, and his armory got started up a little bit later on. So if something like that happens again, Silky will really be able to rake in some advantages off those upgrades.
That Liberator killing the Overlord is funny, though. Liberators
doesn't happen often.
Liberators take a little bit of time to kill air units. Some would say a decent while.
A lot of bailings being made here as Silky is sitting up at that relatively 68 worker count, and he is ready for any kind of push-outs that will normally happen around this time. Vindicta is still poking around with his Hellions, but it's going to be about the rest of his Marines that are now finishing up that 1-1 upgrade and are probably going to be joining forward with some medevacs, maybe a siege tank or 2.
Excited to see it. The armory is coming in. It looks like it won't line up. It won't line up perfectly for the upgrades. The second factory is coming in now too. But
this
yeah, as you
spread
mentioned,
is such a problem now.
Thing is, Widow Mines can dance a little bit better with creep, right? There's a little bit more you can get done when you go for that mine style. Siege tanks are, generally speaking, terrible on creep. If you make a push onto creep with Marine tank, you're asking for that big Ling Bane swarm over, because it's going to be almost impossible to target fire with how fast those units come by. So there's a scan. Clears out the first wave of tumors, but the creep itself is still here. And so he's going to jump on top of this army. Tanks eat a lot of the Baneling shots, though, sparing the Marines.
But I mean, this is still going to be a full cleanup over here. And remember that Silky has not really taken any damage so far this entire time.
Yeah, it needs to get a 4th base up. And the Hydralisks in this game as well are going to be much better than the Mutas at kind of pushing any of that back. So I guess it's going to stay with a siege tank-based composition since it's Hydraling Bane rather than Mutas.
Silky never took a gas in his main base. That's not normal, right?
Weirdly enough, it kind of is, though. There's a lot of Zergs that do that.
I know that you don't do it for a while, but I feel like you usually see it by the time you hit 4 bases or something.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He's at 83 drones. Yeah, he can live his best life.
It's not actually a big deal, so.
Mine is not the reason why. 2-2 starts up for Vindicta, but Silky's upgrade lead is massive, and I think that's one of the reasons why it's very hard for Vindicta to attack. So you got the drops going to the top side, and
Hydra and a Spore Carl. Oh no, Vindicta not paying attention. He's going to lose all of these units from 1 medevac.
Well, this is a stark contrast to game number 1.
This is a complete smackdown here from Silky.
I got nothing to say. He's stuck on 3 bases, and he didn't start a... Okay, he has the 4th CC actually finishing soon in the natural.
I don't know how he establishes that, though.
Well, the simple answer is he doesn't. But the siege tank count's good. Like, he's been doing a decent job with his production cycles. He lost the medevacs, which sucks, but he's going back up to 4. He has the capability to get the 2 tanks out at a time, which is really important as well.
Oh, Hive Tech just... Hive is finished up, so now Silky can start up 3-3 before 2-2 finishes. This is that upgrade advantage you were talking about.
Yeah, Ultralisk Cavern starts, Adrenal Glands, and he should be able to get his 3-3 going. Not that there's a pressure to rush it, because he is not going to fall behind on upgrades.
But you're not usually supposed to be able to stay ahead on upgrades. At most, it's like you keep up with the Terran's upgrades.
So every push that Vindicta's made has been to kill a few tumors and then lose his army. And Silky says, I'm just going to try and kill you right now. Takes about the worst possible fight that he could. Still cleans up a decent amount of SCVs and some other infrastructure.
There's a drop on the north side, just below the main base there, as the medevac does get sniped off. These units don't look like they're going to be able to get the hatchery or anything. Silky is just running away with control of this game. Every single time these kind of trades happen, Silky walks away another 10 supply further ahead. This is getting really, really tough for Vindicta.
Vindicta starts +3 attack, but I don't really have too much else to say here, Fear Dragon. He has been getting his butt handed to him in this game. It's been very, very, very rough. Trying to get drops, but Hydras, Spores, the map control, map awareness from Silky's been really good. His creep spread's been phenomenal. We have the Greater Spire coming in, so when you're forced to build too many siege tanks, Broodlords grow in value. Now, he is going to finish up his Ghost Academy, but this army is also good against Ghost-based comps already. There's a lot of Ling, Bane, Hydra, so the Ghosts on their own are not going to be able to handle it. He doesn't have the money to build what he needs. Like, he needs to spend his next 40 supply straight into Ghost Liberator, but he cannot afford to, and he doesn't have, like, Liberator range or a second starport. So I'm having a hard time trying to see how he brings this one back.
Yeah, I almost feel like his solution right now is I will just continue to drop and try and pull my opponent apart, but Silky's also been shutting down the drops. The Spore Crawler catches the low health medevac as it tries to make its way to the main base. There's some stuff on the very south center side of the map, but that's just chilling. There's no real opportunity for that to get any damage done, and Silky's just dancing around in front of Vindicta's face saying, okay, well, the second you're out of position, the second I find an opportunity, I'm moving in, I'm gonna kill you.
Yep, we got Hydraling Bane coming into this base, denies one of the bases. He was trying to add on to that, but the Planetary Fortress with the Liberators, it's going to hold, but the Banelings do run through and get into the SCV line.
There's actually, he was actually, I guess, up to 80 at workers, so maybe he had more than he needed, considering he's basically on 2.5 bases. I think the main base is almost mined out.
He's overbuilding SCVs a little bit.
Yeah, he's still making some more. I guess if he was able to, like, finally take a good engagement, he could maybe try and take a 5th and 6th or something at the same time with those 2 command centers and make up for how much his economy is hurting. If you consider...
I like that our observer made sure to show us that gas was finally taken. Thank you.
Thank you, Awesome Sauce. You're amazing.
So Broodlords are coming out. We have nukes being added. You're building 2 nukes when you're not even maxed? The absolute madman.
Well, if you're talking about things that could bring you this game back.
Yeah, I guess you could lean on his back foot and try to just drop the deepest bomb we've ever seen.
Silky Silky is bleeding out a lot of units every single time he does these little pokes forward with the Hydras, and it's really whenever Vindicta comes out that he is actually taking some bad trades. But every single time Silky attacks in, he is taking the worst end of things. But here come the Broodlords. This is what you were saying changes everything about that.
Yes. The ghost count is starting to rise, so that's a very important part of this. But here we go. Secret Agent Man going in, and this could be a turning point, right? Because he can start to at least pull the army back. There's the potential for that here. First nuclear launch detected.
Yeah, about, I want to say, 16 or so drones at this base, as well as a decent number of spine crawlers that will take some big damage.
God.
And he doesn't notice.
Oh, see, so
that's
can you see?
12 workers killed, and those spine crawlers also softened up.
That's a
ballsy maneuver.
That is actually exactly what he needs, but it's still the army.
There's actually another nuke on the left-hand side. Silky is just pushing in with this entire army, but that also might mean that he's distracted. He's only got 58 workers, and he is close to losing one of those bases.
He's going to lose everything at this
He's down to 45 workers. So Silky still has a 4K mineral bank and a 1.2K gas bank. I don't want to oversell this.
But all of his expansions are actually not mining anymore.
Yeah. Silky did manage to deny that bottom or that low ground base. I mean, there was a full liftoff there for Vindicta. If he could have to also deny the other 2 bases over here, I mean, I guess this base is kind of getting denied.
Squash the bug.
Oh, it's on hold position. I think it could have. Did it have an adrenal gland?
Yes.
Yeah.
It could have killed that.
Could have won that fight.
But he was trying to do his job. He was told to stand there, and like a good loyal soldier, he did.
Vindicta is coming back in this game.
He is clawing his way in, thanks to the. I'm really glad. Honestly, I was gonna say one of those dumb things where I'm like, if he actually lands a big nuke, I'll eat a shoe. And I was already thinking, I'm like, I can get a chocolate shoe off Amazon, right? But that won't be necessary.
Well, don't worry. If you just don't talk about it for long enough, then people won't notice or remember it.
Hashtag
Jake,
broken,
no regret.
Hashtag broken promises.
Hashtag no regret. Okay, medevac gets sniped off, so that's gonna hurt.
with 1 health.
Wow.
I'm on tilt. I need.
That's
a hug.
what puts you on tilt this game.
I need a hug.
We have 3 nukes that land on full mineral lines with 0 drone pulls, and that's the thing that puts you on
Why would it
tilt.
put me on tilt to see drones die?
That's fair.
Drones are part of the hive mind. They don't have feelings or emotions. There's nothing bad about killing
I don't think
drones.
that's what it means. And doesn't that just mean they share?
They may
their
have
feelings and
nerve
emotions?
endings to prevent themselves from feeling pain, but they don't think, okay?
Look,
that's
Star
what a hive
Trek
mind
told
means.
me that the Borg still feel pain and emotions, but they share it with everyone.
No, that's the Kala. I'm gonna keep my headcanon on this. Bugs must die.
There's 3 more corruptors on the way. This Ghost is just killing.
Ghost with upgrades,
Silky.
2-shot drones, man. He's going ham.
Silky. All right. Okay. Cleans that up. He's still got a
Drop
bit
it
of a
like it's
bank.
hot. He's waiting for the nuke to finish.
He's got 3 more finishing up. Yeah. Well, that hatchery is. I mean, it's regened a lot of its hit points, so it's going to take more than 3 nukes to actually kill it at this point. And
Drone's gonna go to the south base, and he sees this one, so he's gonna get
gonna lose the larva.
larva and a drone. Noise.
I think this is that point in the game where you say, I have 72 workers and a lot of minerals. Let's make a spine and a spore at every base.
I am loath to admit when I am wrong, Fear Dragon, but I will say the YOLO nukes that he went for when he did not even have max supply, which to me is crazy, have actually really helped.
Yeah.
He's blasted away so much of the economy of Silky that he really slowed the game down at a moment where it seemed like Silky was going to make his push to win. Wow. When you go inside of an extractor and then suddenly you're outside and you're like, where'd the extractor go?
I mean, that is the ultimate bunker.
Yes.
Because that drone still survives a nuclear explosion by sitting inside of a gas geyser.
Oh my god. This is just awkward.
Okay.
One man,
They're just
10 brood lords.
Just gonna slowly make their way back as that ghost runs out of energy. He's gonna.
Well, he burns 2 fungals for it as well, so.
Yeah, that's awkward. Oh, these SCVs, they just killed a spine crawler or a spore crawler. They're gonna kill another one.
Look at these loyals.
Wow, that's amazing.
That nuke only killed an SCV. Feels bad. Oh, wow.
Okay, so there's a big fungal growth on these ghosts, but also gets a lot of snipes.
Engagement.
Okay, well, Silky gets the better end of it, but that looked bad for both of them.
Yeah.
I was like, but neither one of these players should walk away happy.
He actually killed most of the brood lords there.
Oh my god, those SCVs are going to kill another spore. They could get one more. No,
This is what
fine
happens.
there.
This is what happens. You're like, oh yeah, I'm not going to kill his SCVs and free supply like he wants me to. SCVs start killing stuff. You're like, what?
Why are they still doing 5 damage attacks?
That's why they call us the Minutemen.
Because it takes them a minute to get damage done. All right, we do have a big push in over here from Silky. He gets a big parasitic bomb on these Vikings that are not being spread out. Finally, it lands. But a lot of these Vikings did get softened up there. Remember, those are the main answer after all the ghosts died to the Broodlords.
Yes.
Well, actually, there's 13 ghosts still alive. He remade those.
Yeah. Yep. Do we still have any? We have 1 nuke available still.
Silky's still sitting down 172 supply. He needs more overlords. Oh god, he's supply blocked. That's why he's not maxed out.
Dude, if Vindicta wins this game, I'm gonna lose it. I still don't believe yet.
Silky? Okay, remember that bottom center base that Silky was taking? That's Vindicta's now. And remember the top center base that Silky was mining from, like, I don't know, 10 minutes ago? It never got reestablished.
So that's been good. He's sending some units out to try and clear out the creep.
Marauder is going to get taken out here by the Hydras, which may be able to make their way down to the bottom, or to the top right-hand base.
Yeah, these nukes are reaching a little bit. I'm not sure I like that spot, just because that base isn't getting saturated enough to actually kill anything.
He's going to kill Spore. For a nuke.
Wow! 100 minerals and 100 gas to kill a 75 mineral building?
It costs 50 minerals for the drone, Nate.
God. Yeah, and it costs 50 minerals
So
of mining time to build a supply depot with an SCV, okay?
Well, that's how you supply drop.
I'm gonna puke. Well, the ghost just fell off the map. Damn.
It was an honorable death. Well, actually, if as we've learned through fiction, if someone falls off a cliff, that means they're not actually dead. They're coming back in one of the sequels.
That's true.
Oh, no, he's gonna kill the broodlings! Woo! 3 broodlings.
Yeah, falling off a cliff is just like the next movie always starts with that scene, but the person like grabs onto a branch, or some person that lives in the side of the cliff just like happens to catch them somehow.
Or like somehow at the bottom of this like 3-mile cliff was water, and somehow that's okay.
No, it was like jelly. It was jelly.
There's actually a nuke right next to the entire army there. It wouldn't kill the army, but if he moves north a little bit, his overseers are gonna take some damage. No.
That's dangerous.
I got a little jumpy there for a moment. Wow, he is just going nutty with the nukes.
Oof, that ghost is.
Ryan Shooter, if you were listening, when are we gonna get nuke counts in these games? I want nuke counters.
Oh my god, I can't believe this thing lost its cloak and it's still able to land, get
And
7
he killed
drones
himself.
and kill the hatch.
He also nuked him.
Well, he knew he was gonna die. I'd rather go out on my own terms, man. If I could blow up the enemy and
for that one.
If I could blow up the enemy and myself, then I would rather do that than be ripped apart by Zerglings, to be honest with you, because that seems like a way more painful way to go out.
I've still yet to see a book or a movie where the person dies to a nuclear explosion and then comes back and says, no, I caught onto a branch.
You know, Von Stroheim did a pretty solid job, to be honest.
In what movie?
It's an anime.
Oh.
So he's just gonna keep building nukes. Vindicta's kind of doing it. He's building up a bank. He's getting lots of damage done.
Silky, oh god. If these Marines manage to make their way to the top center base, no, there's a lot of overseers and hydras there, okay. So they are gonna be able to protect that base, but Silky needs to put some drones on that base. Silky still has a slightly better bank, so it's not over, but Vindicta sure as hell is really, really making this a game.
Oh, the snipes!
Okay!
Oh my god, almost all he gets like half the Lords with those snipes.
To finish them.
And you know what? The Vikings, even with fungal and parasitic bomb, they're still going to be able to get a lot of work done here.
Oh, okay, there are a lot of really weakened Broodlords, but they're actually not dead yet, and a lot of those Vikings just died.
Where the ground army's going to try and push through. Infested Terrans, really good choice, of course. They're very powerful against air units. Only a few of them are able to actually
He has 6 queens. He needs to transfuse those Broodlords.
Oh my god. Thought he was going to lose
There's
all
one.
the broods. So, man, you know what? He lost so many of the ghosts, I don't even know if it was worth it.
He's
bleeding out money. Bleeding out money by building Vikings, too. I'm gonna do the Viking speech soon.
The Viking speech?
Yeah, about how it's basically the ballad to how bad Vikings are in every scenario other than TvT.
You remind me of like Wings of Liberty Zerg players talking about Ultralisks. We're like,
or Hydras in Wings of Liberty too.
Yeah. There's that one SC.
Remember Hydras used to have like 80 hit points and like 5 range, and they didn't have a speed upgrade.
in Brood War?
No, that was Wings of Liberty. they were really bad.
Oh yeah, when no one used to make Hydralisks. I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, the not good old days.
The not good old days for Zergs. No, Spore Crawler.
Nuking this
still survives. The Spore Crawler survives, right? Like barely?
Does it?
Barely?
Oh!
Oh no.
You got it. Well, the nuke wasn't completely worthless. You're broke, okay? If you're not banking resources, I said that earlier, and the nukes actually killed like 40 drones, so just
well, the Liberator is the next step of harassment now, because Silky is actually down to 61 workers. 61 workers. Soon to be fewer. He's making a few more.
Look at those 4 drones following that one, by the way. Oh wow, the other one even just stopped.
That's when you just...
All 5 of those drones just stopped.
Those drones are the equivalent of like that one guy working at the office who's just on Reddit, and it's like, I'm looking like I'm busy because I'm on the Excel spreadsheet subreddit, but
What?
Yeah. You don't frequent that? Do the drones know they're next to the ghost? I actually really wonder.
I would just start right-clicking on the drones I am. Keep building ghosts, keep building liberators. Keep inching
I think he's
your way
denying
forward.
mining on every base except for that top one now.
Yep. Well, even then, he just denied that. 16 drones just died, by the way. So he landed a nuke somewhere else. I think. Something else just happened, because I don't even... Whatever.
How? Okay.
Did he nuke the left base again?
Six spores and a couple of... a decent number of spines still on the map. Well, there's a decent chunk of the spines.
You know what's going to happen? The meme. Oh, no.
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 Okay.
Life is not so sweet.
Infestors take a little bit of damage there, maybe?
Nah.
Corruptor!
Wow, Corruptor gets tickled.
Hey, that Infestor lost 1 hit point and then immediately regened it.
Did he know?
I think he actually did. I saw the health bar pop up for a second.
We're getting close to the meme where the Zerg has 5,000 minerals and no gas, and then they just lose because Zerglings suck if you don't.
Oh, the missile turret line. The missile turret line is going to be problematic here. I don't know how Silky is going to be able to reestablish that
Good
base.
God, that's so many Broodlords.
I guess the missile turret line is not a problem.
14 Broodlords trying to use the Liberators to cover. Ghosts are going to start to snipe. The nuke is still going. Very important. So it's going to zone him away. He has to back off. Top right expansion, by the way, now also getting secure.
Oh, yeah.
Kills nothing with that nuke.
I feel like I would really like if Silky
Oh, wow.
That
Is there enough anti-air to stop him from just diving on this? He's YOLOing everything onto the army.
God. And all the ghosts are going to die to these banelings. The Vikings are getting taken care of by the parasitic bombs and a couple of the corruptors. There's 1 Viper left over.
Why did he take that fight?
Was he distracted? Was he... Because he was landing his bottom left-hand base?
I think he thought he could take that fight, but Vindicta, you done goofed. The consequences will never be the same.
You know what? I'm willing to bet, actually, I think you're right. I think that the Broodlords got their first round of Broodlings out faster than Vindicta expected, and then those body blocked the Ghost from sniping.
Yeah, he just should not have YOLO'd up off that cliff.
Okay, well, there's actually no Corruptors here anymore.
He's got that going for him, which is nice, and I think that's still a planetary.
Those 2 infested Terrans will handle those Vikings.
Honestly, if the Vikings sat there shooting, they probably would kill all of them. Vikings
eventually
have no health, so.
Well, the awkward moment when the orbital is just being used for scouting.
This is just, see if this was Brood War, you get a queen out, take that bad boy. You know what I'm saying?
Make some infested Terrans, which are basically banelings for 500 damage.
Yeah.
That 1-shot photon cannons.
Dude, balance be damned, man. That would be awesome.
That actually would be pretty cool.
I want that. I'm a Terran player. I have no reason to want that other than to see how badass it would look.
I think one of my favorite things, so there was actually a Brood...
Oh,
no! The Infestors! Oh, he's going to get away with 3 of them, but that was a lot of losses right now. Remember, Silky doesn't have a big gas bank. He has a lot of minerals, not gas. Oh, God, that was painful.
When it rains, it pours.
I was going to be able to take care of 3 of these siege tanks. That's really nice with
Good.
Lings.
Get rid of the tanks. The Broodlords are turning them into a liability. Take this base, drop your mules. There you go.
How many times has this bottom left-hand base exchanged hands?
A lot. More than any bottom left base should.
You know what's funny is that StarCraft is a game about resources, but very rarely do players fight over a base. It's usually just fighting to deny your opponent's base. It's very, very rare that players are both trying to take the same base and fight over it for a long period.
Yeah, I feel like it might have been, it's interesting, right? Because his bottom center base is kind of mined out. So I feel like maybe he should have tried to fight for the top right one since there's more money there, but what do I know? It's going to come up. There's not a tremendous amount. Really just got to be careful. Land, move the Viking, and land it. Good.
Where are the Corruptors? He doesn't have any more.
No, he doesn't. The Hydras are just running up to the Vikings, and this is where it's like you need to be able to have something just deny that. But the Marines are attacking from the right. If he gets underneath the Broodlords, this gets ugly. The Marines, they've done it. They've managed to get underneath. Broodlords are starting to drop, and that's really the biggest powerful punching part of the army here for Silky. A lot of the Hydralisks are very low, and now the army is going to begin to chase. Gets a couple of the Overseers as well. That means that base is secured. Oh my God. Has Vindicta completed the sickest comeback I've ever seen in WCS and A?
Silky is still up in supply, but a majority of that supply is just a bunch of Lings he flooded out. He doesn't actually have Banelings. He's got 4 Infestors, but I think they just used up all their energy in that fight.
All right, so Silky's like, I'm just going to go for the YOLO crazy counterattack. As you can see, takes a while for him to punch through these buildings because of that building armor upgrade, which I love. I love. But now the army's basically been forced into Hydra Ling without the Bane. So if you're Vindicta, build medevacs and Marines, and the Fungals are...
starts up more nukes.
Of course. He's like, you know what? We don't really have any money left to fight over. I don't really have any bases left to nuke, but screw it.
I love the timing of that with what you were saying. Oh, so perfect.
Just build medevacs and Marines. He's like, medevacs? but I could build nukes with my Vespine gas.
I think it's also amazing that how many times those top center and top right-hand bases have been denied, that Silky is actually still mining decently off of them.
One of Vindicta's orbitals has 200 energy floating in his natural, which means he hasn't used it for like ever. So I'm like,
maybe he got unhotkeeyed.
That's 4 mules. Okay, there you go. He looks at it. He's like, oh yes, I could use 200 energy. Silky's managed to build a big army, but it's not the most. It's not as scary as it should be in like a normal scenario where you have banelings. Like, there's not a lot of banelings
There's
to it.
7. That's it.
So go back into tanks, break out the. We can't afford endgame tech anymore in this game.
Creep tumor.
2 creep tumors eliminated for 100 minerals and 100 gas. Beat. That command center had too much energy. And it just landed
Adrenal
to glandings. Oof.
Okay, this creep tumor.
We got 1 more nuke after this.
2 creep tumors die here, right? Or is it 3?
3. 4.
Wow. Value nuke. Is it though?
Game-changing, breathtaking, earth-shattering.
So the bottom left-hand base is getting close to mining out here for Vindicta.
Still Vipers.
Okay, so here we go. Silky is just going to go for it.
This actually is the worst
back
possible.
up. That
Do
was not a good fight
choke.
for him.
Do not attack into that choke. Everything is about conservation right now. The Infestor energy, the Viper energy needs to be used very carefully. Obviously, he has a lot of buildings for the Vipers to nibble on, and he's going to get a few more of them. But Vipers feel like the key. And I was going to say Ghost for the key. He keeps building nukes. Like, if he lands a nuke on this army, the game is over 100%.
To be fair, I think that is a phrase you can safely say in most games.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, well, there are still about, I was surprised actually how many resources are left over on that bottom left-hand base. There's actually still around 4,000 or so minerals and a little decent chunk of gas on both of those gas geysers. So Vindicta is surprisingly enough still mining okay.
The top right base. This is the last vestige of economy in this game, and I feel like he's just moving a little bit slow to try and get over there.
Oh, so
building armor, by the way. These depots are all dead like 5 seconds ago if he doesn't have building armor.
Yeah.
Shout out to the memers who get the extra upgrades after 3-3. He needs to kill that top right base. 100% has to. There's no more. No, there's still 2 Broodlords.
It's hard to do anything more than a methodical siege up of it though, because there is a lot over here, and the second that you overcommit, the army can actually swing in from the other side, because there's also creep spread and a spine crawler or 2 up there.
We've reached that point where Silky can trade his whole army for everything Vindicta
not like
has.
that though.
If he's able to get a big fight and trade both players' armies out with 3,000 minerals, then yes, like a Ling Flood will help. You know, unless we get into a really weird scenario where everything dies and he like somehow can't build a corruptor and the buildings float, and then we get into a draw and this turns into the longest NA series we've ever had. Well, in Challenger that's been broadcast, that wasn't a qualifier.
Yes. Getting a couple of the ghosts, that's actually very, very nice considering both these players are gradually going to start mining out their gas. This actually might come down to one of those situations where...
You see, right now, he just postured. He postured like
oh,
silly
those Vikings!
there.
Those Vikings.
The Vikings get nabbed, but he needed to get the tanks up close because of how many Hydras and Banelings there are. But now the Broodlords get to do that thing.
And he's still not in range of the hatchery. He's hitting some of the spines. He hit some of the spore crawlers, but that okay, well, Silky is going to help out by taking away health from his hatchery because he doesn't have many other buildings there. And here we go. We're going to see the Marines starting to poke forward. The Vipers are about to get energy to start throwing down some blinding clouds.
Vindicta YOLOs with a huge arc towards this army, and he kills a lot of it, but trading out what he has, Silky can at least add like a crazy number of lings. At least he can add something. But Vindicta, his bases are, for the most part, all mined out. He's not really mining that much anymore.
It's just the bottom left-hand base, and there's only 2 mineral patches that deceptively do have like 700 minerals on them. It's actually the second one only has 175. And then it's the gas. He does have around 1,000 gas there.
He's Terran. Like, gas is, what is that? That doesn't do anything here.
Well, I was thinking for Ghost more than anything else, but yeah, he still needs the minerals.
Everything good costs more minerals than gas for Terran, so it's kind of awkward. He gets a 360 surround. Silky stepping out of his base. Maybe the only way that he could have lost this fight, but I think he's still going to be able to close it out. GG. We're going to game 3.
That was just game 2. That was actually a very awesome and sick game. I know sometimes we do have the
Vindicta
longer.
almost completed the sickest. Usually when we have a game that goes past 30 minutes in NA, we're all just we all want to die. But this game was, I mean, Vindicta made a really sick comeback. He screwed up a lot early on with his drops, and I think he bled himself out a little bit with the nuke spam.
Yeah, that definitely happened a little bit. Toward the end, I can't ever say that like the nukes were not value earlier on, but like toward the later end, it did seem like they really weren't getting as much damage.
Yeah, just some of the spots, right? Like he kept nuking the right side of that one base, and I guess so. In his defense, the nukes make Silky think to himself, well, if he keeps nuking this spot, I just won't mine that gas. I just won't put drones in those mineral patches. So maybe he prevents him from saturating it as much as he would have wanted to, but still.
And also it prevents Silky from really feeling comfortable like attacking in, because there was a base for a long time there that was being mined from for Vindicta in that top right-hand base. They were like mining. There was not many minerals, but to be fair, I don't think any base really was mining very many minerals or anything. Yeah. So maybe he also felt like it was like a defensive position there to protect himself at the same time that he was being offensive, but it is still didn't work out in the end. And either way, we got a tied up series 1-1. I'm pretty excited about this as we go into game number 3. Though this is more often than not the situation that a lot of players say, okay, that was a really long game. I don't want to do that again. Let's go for a cheese.
Yeah. Yeah.
You think that's going to happen, or?
There'll be a cheese.
There's going to be a cheese?
Kings Cove? Heck yeah.
I bet you $5 there won't be.
I don't. That's Roddy's money. Roddy left
Why
his
did he
stuff
leave
here.
his money here?
His
That's
ID's
not my
here.
fault.
I bet you Roddy's ID. I don't gamble.
Let's not show that one on the broadcast. Hey, if anyone wants Rotterdam's driver's license number.
If anyone wants Roddy's lip balm, we've got that as well.
Well, we got his key card to get into the building. We got his keys, actually.
Man.
If you guys want to just copy those keys.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Next map is going to be King's Cove. So the last map, one of the smaller maps, and I mean, we were talking about the creep spread, for example. Am I remembering? What was the last map? I'm actually like
Cyberforest.
Okay, so it was Cyberforest. Okay. But Cyberforest is one of the maps where I think it can feel a little bit claustrophobic at certain points in time in the game.
Yeah, the map feels very small.
Compared to even maps like King's Cove and stuff, you have a bit more distance. And I think one of the things that really helped Silky completely smack down all the early aggression from Vindicta was that he was able to get out that creep spread really, really quickly and actually get it out basically to his opponent's side of the map. I don't know if that's as likely on this map. How do you feel about that?
It's a good point to bring up. King's Cove definitely feels bigger than Cyberforest. I don't know. There's more directions I think you need to go in.
Yeah.
Because your bases are all kind of very close together on King's Cove, so your creep spread isn't always going towards your expansions, because those end up being like your 5th or 6th base, which we may not even get to. So you kind of have to choose a little bit where you want stuff to go.
Yeah. That's fair.
No cheese, though. We're going to get another 45-minute game. Europe went too fast. We have to make sure that we finish at 5 o'clock again.
These players are like, we saw how last week went.
Yes.
We have a record to beat.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
I mean, I wouldn't complain if it was a game like that last one. That was a pretty fun one.
Yeah, last game was a really good game. As far as drawn out games, it was really just Vindicta tried to get a lot done, failed really badly, and then went for the Ghost Liberator to try and bring it back even. And I didn't think
getting like 40 worker kills in the span of a minute was pretty good.
Yeah, dropping 2 money nukes over 2 expansions and then killing like a ton of stuff. Also, worth noting, because it's something that like we don't talk about too much, but when you make those types of plays, you're also destroying all of the larvae at those bases, and the Zerg's ability to remake those drones or spend their resources in any other way on units afterwards becomes a little bit limited as well.
Absolutely. I mean, we did see in that game, Silky had a ton of minerals and a decent amount of gas most of the game, but he wasn't actually maxing out immediately because maybe there was some of the larva problems there. He did eventually get up enough hatcheries. I think he was able to bounce back from that, but always worth noting. Either way, though, we do see that Reaper making its way across the map. He's not going to be keeping it at home like he did in the last game. and we'll see what kind of damage it can get done. Because he did a really nice job of denying the third base last game. Doesn't actually go straight to the third base this game, so I think that drone that's patrolling around over there...
He's going to start that hatchery a minute earlier than the last game.
Going to completely deny the ability for that to happen, and yep, there it goes down.
So the Reaper wants to try and just maybe get a drone or two, which would be sick if it gets even one. But just the Zerglings so far.
And Zergling's speed is on the way. The Queen is ready to deny that Reaper from hopping up into the main base and getting a lot done, so... Seems like Silky's got a pretty solid defense here. We've seen Bio 2 games in a row now, and I was saying Vindicta, he still is a guy who does like to go for mech every so often. And I say every so often, but I feel like it's more often than not.
Well, looks like he's playing against his reputation then today.
I'm happy to hear that, actually. I know I've said it like 20 times today, but I really enjoy Vindicta's Bio.
The Biomine versus Lingbane Muta was really good. Definitely struggled a bit more versus the Lingbane Hydra. The drops were a lot less effective when there was those defenses and whatnot.
Concussive shells. There's no Overlord scouting that or
Is this
anything.
the Marauder meme build? He's not started a Marauder yet. This is.
I was thinking for a moment if it was like... okay, yeah.
It's going to go Viking into medevac. This is the Marauder Hellion attack. Can be with Hellbats as well.
So, Silky moves in with the Overlord, and he is going to just see, for the most part, he's going to see like, oh, there's a factory and a barracks with a tech lab and a starport. Cool, there's a Viking popping out. You're getting stim. No, wait, did he see a Marauder pop? Oh, did he cancel the Marauder and restart it because the Overlord was there? I think he actually, a Marauder was about to pop out underneath the Overlord, and I think he canceled it and restarted it, just to prevent it from being scouted. That's actually so sick.
So you can deny a little bit of information maybe, but...
It does delay things.
It still delays your build.
It does.
The 25 seconds it takes to build a Marauder.
But if your opponent sees this coming, they have a lot more options to help just defend this way more easily, right?
I think it depends, right? It's kind of hard to say because he's still he still has to like sniff out that something weird is happening. Did he see the armory at least?
I don't think it made it in that far. Wait, where was the armory?
Saw it. Oh, armory just got canceled. Nope.
Oh.
Yeah, no, we're switching gears completely.
Oh. Okay. He did finish up concussive shells.
He's gonna drop 4 Hellions and then do like a 4 Hellion side swipe, but yeah, he has completely changed everything. So he restarts the armory, because in his brain he's like, I'm not going to do this attack. But then he's like, wait, no, I want to get through command center and go mech. So Magfield Accelerator starts. Siege tanks. This map's really good for defending those 3 bases. So that's what it's going to be. Seeing a Marauder is really funny, though, because it will make him maybe think Bio.
Yeah, I mean, he even saw the tech lab on the barracks, so you're probably going to be thinking like, all right, that seems likely. Spore Crawler is already softening up that medevac a lot, and if Silky has noticed it, he could send some queens over there pretty quickly, but all the Hellions managed to unload in time, and we got some more of these units make their way into the natural. Ooh, Baneling gets a good connection on a lot of those Hellions.
Yeah, the drones from the main run down to the natural, but the Banelings get in between them, so he doesn't actually kill that many drones. But then he sends the drones back.
No, not like this. Oh my god, they're all lined up. Taking some damage. The Lings are starting to cut off their attacks. 8 drones. I thought that was going to be a lot worse.
8 drones for 8 Hellions and a medevac.
I like that more for Silky, right?
Well, he hurt the economy. Same worker count, but the third's not landed, so it's like... I don't... Yeah, he lost a lot. He lost everything that he had to kill 8 drones.
Yeah.
So, and he got some Lings. He burned all the Banelings out, but... It's questionable. Resources lost is very close, so I guess the game is more or less even. Neither player is in a position to do too much. But very weird start here.
Hyperflight Rotor Banshees. So this isn't just going to be the usual old Hellion Cyclone memes. You're going to have a bunch of these speed Banshees mixed in that can get some really good damage done. I love seeing, if you're talking about NA Terran players that really love this style, Masa is at the top of that list. He is great with that Banshee control. If you ever want to see how much damage those Banshees can get done, watch some of his games because he's sniping off drones, he's sniping off bases, sniping off units. He does a phenomenal job with it.
Yes, he does. And the blue flame coming up afterwards. So he's got that, which is nice. +1 vehicle armor. Cyclones, Hellions, and Banshees. Well, the Banshees are going to be mobile. Usually it all ends up turning into Liberators, but Banshees are weird because on their own in this matchup, they kind of suck. Unless the Zerg really gets blindsided by it. Queens have 2 more range. They have a lot of, you know, utility in terms of the healing. 22 creep tumors on the way right now.
Yeah, I think he's playing a little bit of catch up from because his queens were sitting back trying to deal with the Hellions.
When you go for Hyperflight Rotors first and don't have Cloak.
When you go for Hyperflight Rotors and you don't have a Banshee on the map because you just lost it.
Yeah, well, you did have another one that just finished, but yeah.
That's true.
It's unfortunate, but when you get up to like a core of like 5 or 6 Banshees, then it gets pretty fun. But this is Mutalisks as a response.
Oh,
so
yeah. If you don't have Cloak, that is a problem.
Yeah, if this was the Hydra build, then I think the Banshees are going to get a lot more done, but Mutas are also weird. Like, honestly, at this point, I'm expecting there to be like a Lambo-esque, like Ling Bane surround on the Cyclone Hellion the moment he steps too close to creep.
Yeah.
But he's going into roaches. Okay. Maybe. No. Whatever. We'll see.
I have no thoughts on those. I'm gonna wait to see how they pan out.
Mutas will put some solid pressure on because there's no turrets. He had the engineering bay as part of the wall before. Yeah, he
had
still
a few
has
Marines, right? 5 Marines for 5 Mutas? Okay, that's not enough.
Seems good. He's gonna run from 1 Cyclone. Keepo.
All right. I suppose you don't know how many Cyclones are still right behind that.
The rest of the Cyclones could all show up and lock on and kill every Muta, so.
All right, well, the Cyclones are going to be able to safely move across the map.
This production tab for both players, beautiful. Building armor, drilling claws, Nidus network, burrow.
All right, and this army is just trying to pick away at some of these queens.
Really?
He's actually locked onto a lot of them.
He did a really good job not losing to the Lings there. I say that he steps back under creep. No, he hasn't.
Still doing a good job.
No big Ling Bane surround that I would say is a huge cause.
I think it's locked onto every Muta almost. No, doesn't quite get him. But he's going to be able to snipe off one of the Overseers over here, continuing to lock on to some more of these Roaches. The Banelings do start to get some decent connections there, starting to snipe off almost all of the Hellions that were left over. And there's more Lings coming out. I actually like that because if you look, there's really not many Hellions in the army anymore. So that does open up the opportunity to maybe get some of those surrounds you were talking about.
Look at that. Someone was watching Cyril play today, and they said to themselves, well, you know who's pretty good at the video game? Cyril is good at the video game. Nidus network, he's got Swarm hosts coming out.
Does he have a Nidus? Oh yeah, he does.
So now I'm expecting to see him try to turn this into the whack-a-mole game with Swarm hosts. But Vindicta's actually been expanding very, very quickly relative to like the other game. I actually think I would say like Clem, like he's got his 5th base now. So maintaining an even, he's on even bases to the Zerg, playing this the meme mech style, which I really, really like. So this has big potential for him, and he hasn't thrown away any armies either.
Yeah, a big thing about the Nidus Worm, Swarmo stuff that we saw from Cyril was that it is all about momentum, and you have to keep continuously being in your opponent's face so that they don't get a chance to do this right here that Vindicta is actually able to do pretty well. He's going to find a bunch of the Banelings that are morphing in. He's getting pretty far onto the creep, but he's not quite at any of the bases just yet. And that Nidus Swarm finishes up. Here come only a few Swarm hosts. It's like, what, 7?
Yeah, I mean, it's enough if there's nothing here. Worst case scenario, Terran player spends like 100 minerals and 100 gas trying to repair the planetary fortress, so.
Yeah, it's something. And it actually did pull back the majority of that army, so.
And he's also using burrowed Lings as the spotters. So, oh, okay, good scan. I was gonna say, I'm like, if he doesn't get rid of those burrowed Lings, then the Nidus will be able to pop up again very easily. Hive is on the way, though.
Swarmos are still in that Nidus. If they still choose to, and he gets those Lings there in time.
I don't know that I'd want to pop him out just yet. The Liberators can kill the Locust Wave.
That is true.
Pretty easily before they reach the base from this distance.
Oh, Swarmos aren't off cooldown yet.
Look at that one Marauder with concussive shells.
Wow.
Gonna kill that Nidus Worm.
That extra damage.
You go, girl. And then the next worm pops.
There's no medevacs here, unfortunately. So that Marauder is dealing with whatever it's got now. Oh, Nidus Worm is going to go down. Another one goes up in the bottom left-hand side, but it immediately gets picked off by these Cyclones. So this, I would say, is kind of the difference between... Oh,
Yeah, but if you're Cyril, you build 25 more Nidus Worms until you get the Swarm Host out, so keep going.
Yeah, and I mean, if you also think about it here, for Vindicta, he has not put any pressure on Silky ever since these Nidus Worms started popping up.
And that's exactly what happened with Cyril versus Clem.
Yeah, that's the objective of this, is you're buying yourself space. Here's a greater Spire on the way, and a bunch more lanes being added on. Well, okay, that Nidus Worm was not so great.
No, but now he knows there's Cyclones here, so he's going to try and come get
Ooh.
the Zerglings. Gets a good wraparound on the east side so that they cannot retreat. Now the Nidus will finish, but lo and behold, Liberation is at hand. He has Liberator range, too, so... Ooh, Ravager's getting caught! Oh, my God.
Oh! Those Crossbows did not really lock onto all the Liberators that were set up there as well as I think he was hoping for. Does eventually snipe off those Liberators that are denying some of the mining there, but Silky has lost a lot of his army on this retreat.
Yeah, we've got the Hellions trying to give chase to the Cyclones, punching through a few of the Creep Tumors, and the Greater Spire is about to finish. Their Corruptors coming out. Gonna be hard to make Broodlords happen if he's under this much direct pressure, though.
Yeah, he's doing some Ling run-bys over at the center base, and that is hoping that he can maybe pull Vindicta back, but Vindicta doesn't really seem like he's pulling. Okay, well, he's starting to pull back a little bit with this army. But I think this is the time that you need those Nidus Worms, the Swarmos, to come out above the natural expansion. Start throwing some Swarmos Locust Waves over there. You need to just buy time for those Broodlords to actually get out.
Yep, and we have the Hellions getting a decent little bit of pressure here too, though.
Using them defensively.
Oh my God, he's transitioning into battle cruisers. What?
Okay, well, you were talking about how that is something you could think about, but we'll see how well this actually works out. Liberators getting fungal growth. That's a really nice set of pickoffs there for Silky, since that was causing so many problems before.
Okay, he smartly canceled the battle cruiser.
He's still getting Yamato.
He's still getting Yamato. That's fine. I was gonna say, battlecruiser transitions are not terrible versus Zerg in the end game. However, if you show a battlecruiser when you've only got one or two, it's very bad, because when the Zerg sets up for it, like, battlecruisers are kind of like swarm hosts in that they're very good at harass, very good at distracting and causing chaos, but on their own, they're not going to take out the army. So you want to blindside someone who builds like 14 Broodlords with like 6 BCs. You know, Yamato 6 Broodlords, and then trade them out, whatever you want to do. But you do not want to just be like, yo, sup, I've got a BC, and then the Zerg player thinks about BCs, and then they start really reinforcing like spore crawlers and whatnot. It's not what you want to happen.
And the boys are back in town, and they are...
he's got 86 SCVs, so yeah, no, these SCVs have been told that they've fulfilled their duty, and that they are relieved.
I love these little Ling run-bys that Silky keeps doing. He's been doing a really nice job of this.
I love that our Terran player got building armor, because he's not losing anything to them.
Yeah. I mean, both these players are doing the right thing in that situation.
He starts a BC again,
Ooh,
but
nice room.
He doesn't have the supply available to build BCs is really the issue.
Ooh, the Nice is actually going to finish. He's going to get the Swarmos to unload a big wave of Locusts onto that mineral line.
Let's see what he can get done. All right, more BCs are in production.
Whoa!
These units.
Yeah.
He's building 4 battle cruisers.
All right, battle cruisers take a long time to build, so he's got to buy a little bit more time. Make sure that Silky doesn't do too much damage in the meanwhile.
Focus, lock on. No, this is good. I like all of it. The only thing for this to become full Nathanius memes is if we could get high-sec auto-tracking for the planetary. It's not necessary. He's done very well with everything else.
Are there any Corruptors left there for No.
There are 4 being made. But like that's the whole thing, is if he doesn't have the supply available to just build a bunch of Corruptors, the battlecruisers are sick. Pathogen Glands is being researched, but Fear Dragon, there's no neural parasite either. So really, there's actually nothing that can deal with battlecruisers right now.
Yeah.
Like 7 Infestors, I've done the math. Technically speaking, 4 Infestors at full energy, if they dump out all of it into Infested Terrans, can kill 6 BCs. But who stands and fights against
I think
Infested Terrans?
With that many Infestors, you can still fungal the battlecruisers, right? Prevent the teleport?
Yeah. Well, what I'm trying to say is there's no scenario where he should have all of his battlecruisers by the Infestors to get fungled and fight against Infested Terrans.
That is fair. And Aero Parasite is actually starting up, so Maybe that will be the saving grace here. Silky's
It'll be
creep spread has
useful.
also been pushed back a lot, by the way.
It'll be useful. There's a lot of nuance to it. Mind controlling a battlecruiser against this type of army will be really good because BCs destroy cyclones. Their DPS is really strong. Cyclones are pretty weak. As long as the battlecruisers don't shoot other battlecruisers, because they are. There is no worse unit in StarCraft at killing a DC other than a BC.
BCs have a lot of armor, and BCs don't do very well versus units with a lot of armor.
Yeah, even the Marine, right? That 6 damage versus the 5 of the BC versus air. So we have the 5 battlecruisers, and I'm looking. He's stockpiling them all. I think, oh my god, like if he could see the units tab, seriously, I would just YOLO jump into the main, snipe the hive, fly over to the 3rd, kill the greater spire, maybe get knurled, but he doesn't actually have enough to even kill himself with the knurls. Like he doesn't have enough. Like he would knurl all the BCs, but they wouldn't
use your Yamato immediately, so they can't.
That's really important though.
Yeah.
Like because the Yamato cannon is so much better to just spend it on frivolous stuff early. Do not save it, because then if you get knurled, the worst they can do is tactical jump you into spores. And if they tactical jump all 6 BCs into spores, then you can run away. Or if you tactical jump in, use all your Yamatos on the hive, then the only thing they can do with a knurl is make the battlecruisers attack themselves, which is the worst thing that they're capable of doing. Sorry, I'm
No,
excited. We've got
I could
battlecruisers
tell.
on the map.
No one else could see it, but your hand motions show how enthusiastic you are about your battlecruiser knowledge. All right, is that a? Oh yeah, it's just a missile turret. I was like, I would love a sensor tower this far forward or something.
By the way, battlecruisers are revealed because a Zergling was burrowed under that base. So he saw all the battlecruisers flew straight over, which hurts because now the corruptor count is going to climb.
Sees it, yeah.
Now he's going to go into corruptors, so that's it's in more infestors. So it's going to get progressively more difficult.
Yeah, 5 more infestors on the way to complement 7 already out.
This is so weird. No, this is not a Disney movie where we're all friends. Yeah, goodbye.
Okay, well.
Ooh, see, this is actually nice because this is a lot of tumors he's going to clear, and if he can kill what? What? Okay.
3 Ravagers.
Nice.
Well, there were multiple nukes
Dude,
going.
this is a good scenario to use nukes though, because he's built units that are going to be hard to kill, and he has a bank, and he has a lot of bases. So this is where the nuke spam becomes really hard to deal with, because he's like, yes, I want to pull back the spores. Ooh! In this scenario, like, oh my god, just imagine if you could get Yamatos onto all those Broodlords and then Shift Q teleports back.
That would be pretty juicy.
There's some really weird interactions.
11 battlecruisers now, and there's 11 Broodlords.
There are a lot of really weird interactions with BCs and infestors. Oh my god, oh my god, gets the snipes!
Okay.
Some of them.
Silky still has a few resources left over, and he's got about 30 supply left to work with, still deciding what he wants to spend it on.
Yeah, well, he's got to be careful, because, right, you like, the number of BCs is really important, but having supply available is important. At some point, you got to sack. Okay, yeah, actually, all the Swarm Hosts are gone. He only has 1. That's good. I'd say Swarm Hosts are not useful in this situation. Maybe Serral would make better use of them, but Silky just wants to have more supply available for his army, but he doesn't know where exactly he wants to spend that supply yet. More infestors right now. Squeeze out a few more drones. Yeah, his economy's actually been battered and bruised pretty heavily.
I like that he's grabbing the bottom left-hand ish base. Actually,
there's 10 orbital commands too. I didn't even realize that. 10 orbitals. So, man, Vindicta could sack more of his SCVs, honestly, if he wants to. Battlecruisers.
Silky.
But see, if you see all the infestors there, just teleport into the main and then fly to dead space where the infestors can't knurl you. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, he's playing a really intense match for his opportunity to stay alive in this group. You know, whether he goes to the winner or loser match, since this is only our 2nd series, but
okay.
All
nukes are going to clean up that hatchery.
Oh. And that SCV.
That poor SCV did not get the
How do I
memo.
free supply? I nuke my enemy and then run my SCVs into the base as the nuke lands.
That technically will work.
And what if he neural parasited one of those SCVs?
What happens if you neural parasite a ghost that is mid-nuke? Does it cancel it? Or do you have to cancel it afterwards?
You may have to manually cancel it.
Food for thought.
Generally, the infestor does interrupt channeled abilities when he neurals. But I know that was changed for the Yamato. I don't know if that affects every ability, because Yamato does not get canceled by neural parasite.
You know what I miss when Yamato was energy based? It fed back. Oh! Okay. If you fed back a battlecruiser that was Yamatoing, you would just cancel the Yamato.
That's because the BC would spend the energy after the 4 seconds channeling.
I missed that.
Well,
Feedbacking.
Yes. When the BC was literally the most useless unit in StarCraft.
I missed that. Do you miss that, Nate?
Yeah, 400 minerals and 300 gas, so you could...
Okay, these ghosts are really far out, and with the army coming... Okay, they are going to start pulling back now. And nice EMPs actually start pushing back some of those infestors. I think those infestors had full energy, and now they're down to about half.
Yeah, I'd like him to try, like, split lane pushing with the BCs, where he, like, send, like, 3 around one side, 3 around the other, and they kind of jockey for positioning with the mid-clump. Because there's still not really a lot of corruptors. 9 corruptors will not actually be that great. And if I could be... Okay, well, he's getting +3 air attack and +2 air carapace. So the battle cruisers are actually losing value over time because they can actually tango with the corruptors at this moment. Once the corruptors are at level 3 carapace, battle cruisers are going to go back to being hot garbage versus them. So, like, right now at this very moment, you could do like the YOLO move too. Teleport 1 BC to each of the bases in the back. Just force the enemy to retreat.
Silky? Silky? Okay, he saw it. He was fungling to try and find the ghost, but he didn't quite find it. Oh, that's a cute Nidus to reinforce.
My God, is somebody using it in a non-all-in way? Call the police!
Okay, well, those nukes are actually going to get pretty annoying because they're going to clean up a decent number of the static defense there.
He tried to deny that. Wow.
Okay, that got a little bit scary. There's also a bit of an attack happening over in the top right-hand side. Battle cruisers. Ooh, battle cruisers are trying to get the base over here. Here come those infested Terrans.
Infested Terrans are pretty good. Does he have tactical jump? No.
He tactical jumped in.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, almost got a fungal growth.
I think backstabbing is the best thing to do with this, just because there's a lot of dead airspace, so only the corruptors and vipers can deal with it. But when you have this many BCs, I actually think the last thing that you want to do is just fight head-to-head, because you're opening yourself up to the fungals and, most importantly, the infested Terrans. Infested Terrans are the only thing on this map right now that can actually deal with the BCs.
Hey Nate, they fixed the the parasitic bomb double damage, right?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
I believe they did, yes. I think that was in the last patch.
Yeah, I was pretty sure they did. Just making sure. Well, do the ghosts actually have any medevacs to build them up?
He was just trying to YOLO EMP. If he gets those EMPs off, by the way, then you teleport every BC immediately onto the army and just blow everything to pieces.
There's another nuke. There's an Overseer there, though.
There's Overseers on the Bird Lords now. Oh, they shoot at the wrong ghost.
Oh my God, he didn't actually see it. He's gonna lose like
he tried, yeah, he tried, but it went to the other one and takes some damage on Sword.
Well, the right-hand side actually like this. The Lings are going to start cleaning up some of those buildings and maybe force an orbital or something off.
Oh God, that's terrifying. Oh, he got the EMP.
What?
He got the EMP.
Oh,
he did it.
Oh God.
Yeah, there's so many battle cruisers here. He should be able to just.
Yeah.
He's gonna literally kill everything. He got the EMP on the infested Terrans were the only thing that were gonna kill this. He's gonna build 18 corruptors now. But what you do is you move command back home and kill everything before the wave of corruptors comes out, and you're good.
You know what's funny is that the Overseers are dying before the Broodlords. We haven't seen a Broodlord die yet.
Battle cruisers are really weird when it comes to fighting air units, mostly because they don't fight air units. He's got 30 corruptors building. Get your BCs back! Fall back!
How long? Okay, so teleport is about half.
If these corruptors are actually able to go out and get to these BCs, this game's going to get even weirder. I think Vindicta still has it, but these battle cruisers it's going to be a very weird fight. He's going to lose.
There's one.
Most of them, if not all of them, in my mind.
Yeah,
he has the one upgrade advantage, but
oh God,
this is kind of Corruptor's field day.
Nate, I'm scared. I'm scared, Nate.
Infested Terrans.
I know. It's
warps
it's
another
16.
BC.
It's 13 Corruptors to 11 battle cruisers. I think he still wins this. Right?
He's not focus firing. I think he is now.
Yeah. I think at this point anymore.
Yeah. Well, he did make his opponent also, let's be real here, he actually can't afford to build Broodlords either. All right.
GG.
That one upgrade advantage is huge, though, because the Corruptors never got +3 armor. Feels bad.
I was just looking at that.
Sick play.
Congratulations to Vindicta. Yeah, doing an awesome job.
That's a really, like, sweaty type of play to make, because a lot of, like, BCs, they're the most expensive harass unit in the game, and they're very good at it. Like, running them around the sides is really good. Silky did a good job, like, getting the neurals on the 2 that were on the top side, but I felt like he was being a little bit close to the chest with them, which is not necessarily bad because he had ghosts with them. Ghost BC, you really can't build a more expensive army as Terran, but, man, the EMPs on the Infestors, that's clutch.
Game changer.
Yeah. The biggest thing is, and like I said, even if he had lost all the BCs, I think that there's still opportunity there. But the Corruptors didn't have the upgrades that they needed. You need +3 armor. That's what makes them good against BCs. And, yeah, what was he going to do with 30 Corruptors and no resources, even if he could kill all the BCs?
Yeah. I don't think you can caustic spray down every single building in time for them to actually
Marines come out?
yeah, exactly, right? Really, really well done there by Vindicta. Clearly showing a really solid fundamental knowledge of the super hyper late game of that sort of style.
Very well done. And now we move on to our lower bracket match coming up next. So Silky will fall down to face off against Crucial Nug. And we have our winner match after that. It'll be Neeb versus Vindicta. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to a quick break. When we return, we will bring you the loser match, the Terran versus Zerg. The Nug that's Crucial versus the Zerg that is Silky. And I think we're going to jump to that graphic where it shows both of the players. I'm like, how long can I stretch it? We'll be back after the break, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching the StarCraft 2 World Championship Series.